Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're taking the new 9.5 Anniversary Gear 5, or Snake Man as people are calling him, into some content and having a bit of discussion on how powerful this unit actually is. First of all, it is a really nice change of pace to get a non-free spirit Luffy. This particular Luffy from the Film Red movie, the 9.5 Anniversary, is actually a fighter powerhouse unit. And the last time we saw something like this was the Super Evolution for the original V1 Snake Man, who was also a fighter powerhouse strength unit. And that unit was just so elite for so long because you had the complexity of using him on so many different teams that the other Luffys didn't really counteract with. And that's this Luffy's biggest strength. A lot of people are going to say that, well, we've had 3 exclusive Luffys in like the last 4 months. What makes this Luffy different? That is the big thing. That he's a powerhouse. He's a powerhouse unit, not a free spirit character, which is just absolutely absurd. Now, this allows you to use him with a bunch of different units that Luffy doesn't normally mesh with. However, he does still have his usual culprits that you can definitely use as well. As a captain, he is a monster. He is no pun intended, he is a powerhouse. He's so goddamn strong. He's a 5.5 times captain with a matching orb. He allows you to consume recovery orbs with perfects, and I believe he makes recovery and tandem orbs matching. Every time a fighter or powerhouse character uses a special, he gets 3 turns of cooldowns to himself, which is very strong because he has a very powerful special. Plus, he removes 10 turns of paralysis as a captain. And strength units, they don't really have a lot of paralysis removing units as captains. So this, just like the powerhouse thing, is a very nice change of pace. Not only for strength, but for powerhouse characters. Stereotypically, a lot of the paralysis removers are either cerebral, they're usually quick, sometimes they're Psy, because the only other Luffy we have is Stampede Luffy, who can actually remove paralysis. So this particular Luffy doing that for a whole different color and kind of a whole different sort of class is incredibly nice as well. As a captain, he boosts powerhouse, fighters, free spirit, and slasher, I believe. He doesn't do cerebral. I do think he does free spirit. So that opens the door to a lot of different team building options. And you can do some fun stuff with like regular Luffys, but one of the best characters that this guy is going to see play alongside is Rush Kaido, as well as Super Tandem Kaido as well. Super Tandem Kaido has fallen off drastically because of the new Rush Kaido, but Rush Kaido makes this Luffy, or this Luffy makes Rush Kaido, even stronger. And the two of them together is exceptionally powerful. So we're going to dive into Worst Generation, one of the 10-star Garbs challenges, and take a look at a mono strength powerhouse build and how well you guys can actually put together particular teams to take on different challenges in the game that require chopper man missions like mono strength teams, but also building towards a class. Now, the fact that this particular Luffy works so well with Kaido is absolutely absurd. And the reason they work so well together is because Luffy's an attack booster, Kaido's an orb booster, so therefore you've got 2 of your best damaging dealing specials available. Plus, Luffy applies a 1.5 times additional damage taken to the enemy that goes through full immunity. Kaido will actually give you a massive conditional boost against that particular condition. Now, Kaido is very good at creating that condition himself. He doesn't really need all that much help to do so, but when you are doing longer pieces of content and you're using specials in different areas, having Luffy apply that is actually really good for this particular unit. On top of that, Luffy has a final tap. This Kaido has a rush ability. So if you can build out the team in a way that uses 2 of the Straw Hat characters, and a Shanks, I believe, but like most of the time you're going to use Straw Hats, and then 2 of Kaido's requirements. I've just sort of focused on the Kaido crew here, but it's very easy to do that because you can just bring two of the Kaido crew and then 2 of Luffy's chums, the Straw Hat crews. Something like the Powerhouse Treasure Map Zoro, for example, would work really well. There's a lot of Powerhouse Sanjis that are strength that you can use as well. There's the free-to-play one. There's the rare recruit one that's a fighter, I believe, as well. So you can do some really fun stuff there. And that way you get access to a Super EX and a Super Class for Luffy. That allows Luffy to be a Super Class Powerhouse Fighter and Super Type thanks to Kaido as well. So the 2 of these two, like the 2 units together work exceptionally well. Throw in a Super Tandem character and like you're just good to go. And that's where this other Kaido came into play. He was going to be my Super Tandem unit for this particular team. Anyway, I was going to do some real fun shenanigans that way. But he's sort of then centric around sort of like strikers, so like that was kind of the big gimmick. But I wanted to showcase that you could also use this particular Kaido as well. So it's really nice to see Luffy sort of pop up on an array of different teams because his special is just so good. And when you run him as captain, getting the 3 turns of cooldown means that you can pop this special quite frequently. Not only is he a massive 2.75 times attack boost, but he also gives you a full board of tandem slots. Unfortunately, this does not go through block orbs. I found that to be the biggest downside to the unit, is block orbs can kind of cuck him, but he's Luffy. He's got so many good supports, and you can rotate orbs on the final stage with like Brûlé supports, or you can use other supports to sort of allow you to get around that. Plus, he has access, obviously with 4 classes, to a lot of very powerful subs that can sort of just do that for him, and then he can rotate them all into tandem slots. His Super EX will turn tandem orbs into a 2.5, as well as recovery orbs into 2.5 times multiplier, just like Wano slots, but obviously they can be manipulated. If you have an attack boost, however, he increases the attack boost by 0.5, allowing you to get a 3.25 times attack boost, provided you build your team correctly. Plus, he does a 2.75 chain boundary, maxing at 35 times as well. So with that ability to sort of get your cooldowns back nice and fast, you can get monstrous attack boost, a massive chain multiplier, as well as a 5.5 times captain. Nowadays, though, 5.5, if you're looking at something like Kaido, who's a 6 times captain, it is a little bit of a hit or miss. However, what this character is doing with that cooldowns and the utility can definitely make up for that. All in all, though, a character that can be used alongside themselves is always a very, very powerful one to have in your arsenal. Running double Luffy is never a deficit, because even if you don't get that double special activation, the pseudo double special, you can always just run 2 of them and pop both of them in the same turn and still get the attack boost and the chain boundary and have access to that particular ability. One downside that I do find to the increased attack buff is that does hinder using characters that have the ability to have overrideable effects. I feel like Bandai realized that with overrideable effects, it's incredibly powerful for then, say, Luffy to then give a 2.75 times orb attack boost, increase his own attack boost, and give the chain boundary all in one special. If you say you use like Ray-Ban's super swap in that particular turn. Unfortunately, with a character that will increase an attack boost, they won't trigger over the overrideable attack boost. They'll basically just increase the overrideable attack boost by 0.5 and then apply the chain boundary. So it's a bit of a downside to the way the mechanics work, but look, it does make sense, because if Luffy could do all of that in one turn with literally just one Luffy without the pseudo double special, it'd be kind of nuts. But getting the pseudo double special is not challenging. You can do it 8 times, the 3 turns of cooldown, 8 times per quest, 4 times per stage. So that way, if you limit break expand your Luffy, you can literally get that double special popping, provided you build that team out correctly. A character that works exceptionally well, like I said, is the Treasure Map Zoro. Any character that has double special activation is always going to be very, very good underneath this particular Luffy and underneath Shanks, because allowing you to just pop multiple specials in a turn just means that you can just get this a lot easier. The new PKA unit having triple special activation, something like PKA Roger underneath the new Shanks, for example, any of those characters that have triple special is now going to see a lot more viability under a character that can do something like this. Getting 12 turns of cooldown in one turn after using your special is just, it's so powerful. And when one unit can bring literally 9 turns of those cooldowns, it just opens the door to so many other options. This Luffy is just, in regular play, is exceptional. Characters that boost multiple classes are just always going to be very, very powerful for your arsenal. But the reason that you guys want to have this unit on your team is that his captain ability kind of hinders a little bit. The 5.5, like I said, it's not the pinnacle of big damage numbers that we've seen with like Gear 5, 6+, and regular Gear 5 being 6 times multipliers, Big Mom and Kaido, the Super Sugos, being 6 times captains, and even Kid Law, when you hit that last chain, that last unit hitting for 6 times as well, means that, unfortunately, this Luffy will fall off, and probably won't see all that much play as captain. On top of that, he's a super fighter, not a super EX. I think just with the release of Super EX nowadays, any character that doesn't have a Super EX is always just going to fall a little bit short than any other unit that does. So, whilst the Super Fighter is good, he's super class. It's not the be all or end all. His special is like the big plus to this unit. But having him as a sub is going to see some incredible play. As you guys saw in the very first clip, I used Shanks under Luffy. I literally just did it for the lols. But getting all the cooldowns that you can get with these guys is so nice. On top of that, they give 2 turns of cooldown as a captain as well. So they're like a speed utility captain that is going to help you guys out in beating a lot of content moving forward for stuff that doesn't involve big damage numbers. But As a sub, they are definitely going to be very, very powerful because you can use them in two very different ways, being an attack booster, an orb manipulator, or a chain bounder unit. On top of that, they give 1 turn of cooldown to the entire crew just by being on the team, which is awesome. And every time a strength or side character uses a special, Luffy will get 2 turns of cooldown. Shanks has the exact same thing. If you guys want to go back to the start of the video, check that out. You'll see him basically get all of the cooldowns ready to go just by me using other character specials, being Sai and Strength. So that's a really, really nice Sailor ability. But on top of that, Luffy has a very, very insane final tap. It's not one that I would chase, not one that I would max out, just because of what happened with K-Dad this time last year, and how beneficial that particular final tap has been, really, in terms of damage output. I definitely wouldn't chase it. However, the final tap of this Luffy applies 1 times damage for any strength character in the turn as end of turn damage. Just like Straw Hat Crew V2, just like K-Dad, but this is a 1 times multiplier. So basically, all the damage that you've done by strength characters will just get added as tap timing damage that goes through normal attacks only and all that fun stuff. You guys have seen how powerful Straw Hat Crew V2 is moving forward. Just that ability is just so damn strong. However, Straw Hat Crew V2 does 1.2 times for everyone's damage. This Luffy is just for strength. And the way they're trying to build out this Luffy is he's very class-centric, having 4 classes and pairing him up with Shanks, having a little bit of overlap there, doing some fun stuff like that. But when you do mono strength teams and then you're throwing in stuff like Rush Kaido and throwing in a super tandem in there too with something like, you can even do something like Sanji's Rush, buffing it that way. You're going to do some pretty crazy stuff with strength units. And that final tap is going to go absolutely ballistic. Even without it being level 5, having that particular final tap has been so valuable because it actually goes through resilience. It's a very, very powerful mechanic to just bypass resilience on the final stage and not even think about it, thanks to that final tap being additional tap timing damage that just goes through that. But let me know your thoughts and opinions of this Luffy in the comment section below. I'm a huge fan of the character. I'm a huge fan of the Shanks as well. I think they did really, really fun stuff with these units whilst keeping a nice balance of utility, speed, and power all in the mix, making them incredibly powerful units. Great for newer players, great for hybrid options, and just a lot of fun when it comes to team building. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and opinions of the unit in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Later!